I overheard my girlfriend brutally mocking me to her best friend about our sex life. What happened next completely shattered our relationship. My girlfriend, Jenna, and I have been dating for just over 2 years. I am a veterinarian, and we met in my office when she brought her dog in for an ear infection. What should have been a 15-minute meeting grew into an hour-long discussion. I've never been so smitten by a woman before. Before Jenna, I lived the bachelor lifestyle and assumed I'd be unmarried forever, but that life of occasional flings was becoming old. Jenna is a charismatic woman with a large circle of acquaintances, her best buddy being Dylan, a gentleman from her hometown. I trust Jenna, but I'd be lying if I claimed I didn't care about their connection. I don't get angry or quarrel with her about it. She assures me that they've been friends their entire lives and have never had a sexual relationship. I understood that they were merely pals and attempted to buddy up with Dylan. He's been to the city 3 times and seems like a nice man, but he doesn't appear to like me much. Jenna claims he's simply being protective, but I get the impression he's jealous. Jenna finished graduate school this spring, but she's had a difficult time finding work. We've been living together for a year, and while I'm financially secure and don't mind covering expenditures, I've made it clear that if she gets a job, she must begin contributing. She texted me on Monday to say she had gotten a job, one she truly wanted, after some hard interviews. I was so pleased with her that I decided to surprise her by leaving work early and purchasing her favorite drink, Chinese takeout, flowers, and a necklace she adored from a boutique. I wanted to make the occasion exceptional. I returned home and entered the basement to get the hidden necklace, intending to surprise her. As I climbed the basement stairs, I overheard her talking on the phone and giggling excessively. It was cute, so I decided to surprise her. She was speaking with Dylan, which was not unusual. But then I noticed they were laughing at me. Specifically, about our sexual experiences. I heard her reply, "No, he doesn't even compare to my ex. My ex had at least 3 inches on me. I feel horrible every time I eat a mini carrot in front of him. It must be unpleasant for him to watch me munching on something his size." She chuckled and said, "His body is amazing as long as he keeps his boxers on." I don't care what people on Reddit say about the size of my member, but having her make fun of me in front of someone I already felt embarrassed about was extremely terrible. What made matters worse was that what she was saying wasn't accurate. I'm quite average, nothing spectacular, but certainly not comical. She also ridiculed me for being gorgeous but not super smart, which was strange given that I'm well educated. Hearing her rip me apart like that felt like a strike in the belly. I departed after that. Yes, I threw the flowers out the vehicle window and cried in the parking lot. I believe she heard the basement door close or saw my car go since she began messaging me shortly after, wondering when I was returning home. That was Monday, and I still haven't mentioned it. I'm not sure why. I guess I'm still absorbing things. It's extremely embarrassing and hurtful, but gosh, I adore this girl. I am not saying I will necessarily forgive her. I just want to emphasize how difficult this whole situation is for me. I know I should bring it up with her, but how? Any recommendations on how to begin this conversation? I am deeply upset and I'm not sure whether I can forgive her for this. TLDR, my girlfriend and her male buddy made fun of me about our sex life and my penis. It's quite hurtful stuff. I feel like a puppy that has just been kicked in the face. I am devastated, all jokes aside. I plan to propose within the next few months. I don't see how I can forgive her or remain with her. Advice? Edit. Wow, hey, thank you everybody. I simply wanted to say that I will surely split up with Jenna. I had a beer with 3 of my buddies tonight and told them everything. Their sentiments are similar to the majority of yours. Dump her and do it quick. I called my mother and told her about it. Yes, I told her everything, as embarrassing as it was. We are getting close, and I wanted her to know the complete tale. I've never heard her so outraged about anything. She knew I had purchased a ring for Jenna. I'll post an update once I finish it. It will most likely happen tomorrow, although I may not talk about it for a few days. I'm going to be a wreck emotionally. Thank you again for your comments, messages of support and encouragement. I never expected so many people to be rooting for me. Update. I, 33M, overheard my girlfriend, 28F, make harsh fun of me in front of her best friend, 27M. When I say brutally, I actually mean brutally. Well, Reddit strangers, I stayed strong and broke up with Jenna on Thursday evening. This has honestly been the most dramatic few days of my life. I am fatigued. Things became really unpleasant on her end. Sorry for the lengthy post, a lot has transpired. At the recommendation of my friends, mother, brother, and many of you, I spoke with her in a private but still public setting. The idea was that someone who could be so harsh and reveal themselves as a liar would try to twist things and say she left me because I wounded her, or something similar. I'd like to believe she wouldn't do something like that, but who knows, especially after what has transpired. Better safe than sorry. I considered simply boxing up her belongings and breaking things up without explanation, but we've been together for nearly 2 years. I felt the best thing to do was face her gently and listen to her. Even if her explanation did not influence my choice to end our relationship, I wanted to give her the opportunity to explain. So I took her to a wine bar downtown with small private booths and half curtains. She had been saccharine sweet since Monday, which indicated that she either A, felt bad about what she did, B, believed I had overheard her, or C, had no idea why I had been aloof. She dressed quite smartly, and despite everything, I must confess she looked stunning. She was also quite loving and made provocative comments regarding future plans. Normally, my precious little baby carrot would have been overjoyed with this, but given the circumstances, it was difficult to appear normal. I had practiced what I was going to say several times, so as soon as we sat down and grabbed our wine, I started. I can't remember exactly what I said, my adrenaline was pumping, but I basically told her how much I loved her. How she's the first woman I've ever felt so close to that I opened myself totally and trusted her. I told her she was the only woman I'd ever considered marrying, but I didn't mention that I'd already bought the ring. I remarked that I hoped to have children with her in the coming years. She kept interrupting and claiming she loved me too. Then I looked her in the eyes and asked her directly why, if she loved me so much, she made fun of me in front of Dylan. Her expression seemed slightly satisfied. As expected, she initially denied it, claiming she had no idea what I was talking about. She stated that Dylan is aware of how much she loves me and would never make fun of me in front of him. I simply glanced at her and said, "Come on, Jenna." Even after I told her I'd arrived home early on Monday and overheard her conversation, she denied it. It was frustrating, but I maintained my composure. I told her that we were both aware she was lying and that what she said was unforgivable. I couldn't understand why she would say such things to Dylan, especially since she was lying solely to make fun of me. She kept rejecting it, behaving as if I were insane. She stated she loved me, was not unsatisfied with our sexual relationship, and would never complain about me. If I hadn't witnessed the exchange, I would have believed her. She deserves an Oscar for her portrayal. Some people inquired if I was certain she was talking about me. When she compared me to her ex and his cracking member, she did say my name, so there's no question. In the end, I told her I'd take us home so she could get the necessities and her dog. My brother and his girlfriend were also present. I wanted to make sure there were other people around to serve as witnesses. So I let her grab her belongings while refraining from being abusive or disruptive. I told her I'd pack up the rest of her items and set them out for her to get anytime she wanted. She couldn't believe I was breaking up with her. She pleaded with me, but I was set in my ways and refused to change. It was difficult not to cry in front of her when she continued stating how much she wanted to be with me forever and that she hoped to be the mother of my children someday. I own my house, and since Jenna hasn't assisted with bills like rent or utilities, I wasn't too concerned about, to put it frankly, forcing her out. She continued asking me what she was supposed to do and where she should remain. I told her it was no longer my problem and that she could stay with friends until she could obtain her own apartment. The majority of the furnishings and decor were mine anyway. She only had clothes and toiletries to take with her. Even the refurbishing she had done in my house was on my dime. Then came the waterworks. She burst into tears, claiming she didn't understand how I could treat her like that and that she thought I was a decent guy. She must have said this a million times. I assured her I am a good guy, which is why I didn't just put her belongings on the front lawn, change the locks, and leave without explanation. Then, to my surprise, she dug the knife in deeper. She said she had no idea why she had said those things to Dylan, but eventually admitted she had. She went on to say that maybe it's because Dylan brings out the best in her, and she can laugh at things that would ordinarily make her cry, like my penis, apparently. I told her it was unfortunate that if what I had heard was her best, I would hate to witness her worst. It was spiteful of me, and I generally avoid making sarcastic remarks, but I told her she could return to her hometown and live with Dylan or her ex-boyfriend who had the 9-inch dick. It was astonishing how quickly the tears dried up. She flicked the switch and told me I had no idea how to treat women, that I was a loser with a little penis, and that I'd be alone forever. She stated she never truly loved me and that I was more of a friend, but she didn't want to upset me, so she stayed with me. She also indicated she would have declined if I had proposed. Just for good measure, she underlined that my penis was a baby carrot, and that I would die alone. I told her that I would rather die alone than marry someone who was harsh, did not love me and did not respect me. No joke, she started screaming. Not words, just a loud, terrifying scream. It was disturbing, and she stormed away after calling me a dirty pig. After settling the bill and apologizing to the waiter for the incident, I exited, and there she was, standing outside, crying. I knew what she did was terrible, and everything she said minutes before was equally as bad, but I still didn't like seeing her like that. I did not want to leave her on the sidewalk. I live in New England, and it is already quite chilly here. I offered to drive her back to the house so she could get more of her belongings and told her that she needed to find another place to stay once she packed a bag. She agreed, and we didn't chat at all in the car. It was one of the most embarrassing experiences of my life. My brother and his wife were already at the house when we arrived. His wife remained inside while Jenna packed, and my brother waited outside with me. It passed by uneventfully, and she was picked up by her girlfriend. I made sure I had my house key back before she departed. Later that night, Jenna texted me frequently. The messages varied from sorry to sorrowful, angry, extremely angry, and back again. I did not respond to any of them. I merely texted her the next morning to let her know that her remaining stuff were on the porch and that she could pick them up while I was at work. I didn't hear from her until almost the end of the afternoon. She sent me a nasty text, wishing me every ill. I ignored it. When I arrived home, it was a disaster zone. She'd smashed everything. I'm not sure if she made a spare key or knew how to pick the locks, but she managed to get into the house. She ruined everything. Smashing precious items, ripping up furniture, clogging 2 sinks, and leaving the water running. She left the refrigerator door open and dumped food all over the kitchen. It was a wreck. The only considerate thing she did was lock my 2 dogs in a bedroom so they wouldn't be wounded by the broken glass or eat the scattered food. I own 2 vehicles, one for regular use and an SUV for work, which I use to carry large or unusual animals to the clinic. In the midst of all the turmoil, I had neglected to give her a key to the SUV for emergencies. I stepped outside to check, and she had also wrecked the inside. She poured flour and tomato soup throughout the interior. It's just things, I suppose, but the fact that she could do something so childish and horrible on top of everything else astounds me. Last weekend, we went to a play, hung out with friends, played Monopoly, invented a drinking game, watched Netflix, and made love several times. My house and automobile, as well as I, have been wrecked. It's amazing how quickly things change. Not my best moment, but I was so irritated that I immediately bought 25 pounds of baby carrots from Costco's rapid delivery service. I had them transported to her friend's house, addressed to Jenna, 100 pounds of baby carrots. They deliver within an hour. She sent me a flurry of fascinating and offensive texts that evening. Yes, it was petty, but my only regret is that I wasted food. I hope she donates them or prepares some of them. So that's it. I blocked her last night because the nasty texts kept pouring. I'm feeling really beaten down right now, and I've sobbed more than I have in a while. It is apparent that I made the proper decision. Jenna is obviously not emotionally stable or mature. She truly is harsh, and I know I deserve better. Since Monday, I've spent a lot of time reflecting on myself as a partner and trying to figure out what caused her resentment, or whatever it was. I'll be really honest here. I work a lot. I try to make time for the people I care about and avoid bringing work home when I've had a difficult day, although I do occasionally. I understand this. Jenna and I have had previous disagreements about it, and I've made a concerted effort to schedule my days so that I can return home on time. I've also attempted to avoid terrible days at work as much as possible. However, anyone who is a vet or has worked with one understands that we are always on call for emergencies. Sometimes we have patients we need to check on or stay with all night. Time off might be difficult. It is achievable, but it is difficult. My staff is fantastic and can manage most issues, but I still receive a lot of calls or texts from them when I'm on vacation or away for the day. I'm sure there were occasions when Jenna felt second best to my job. Well, I know there have been. She's told me so before. I attempted to make modifications, but there was only so much I could do. As far as I can recall, I've never been intentionally cruel to Jenna. I've had terrible days, been cranky or absent, and we've had our fair share of arguments and fights, but nothing harmful or excessive. I genuinely thought we had a good relationship and were both pleased. I know I was. It's difficult not to question myself and wonder if I'm truly a disappointment, or if I neglected her to the degree that she felt unloved enough to act the way she did. I do not know. But I know that, nevertheless, the way she treated me and responded to the breakup was completely unacceptable. I didn't deserve it, and that's on her. So thank you for supporting me, Reddit. It's been wonderful to read all of the supportive comments and suggestions. It's time for me and my baby carrot to find a woman who values us for who we are. TLDR, I broke up with Jenna on Thursday night. It didn't go well. She turned vicious and destroyed my house, car, and me, but I did it and it's finished. I've blocked her on my phone and social media. In a fit of anger, I also sent her 100 pounds of baby carrots. Edit. I did file a police report and take pictures, which might help me reclaim part of the money lost through insurance. The police report is unlikely to yield any results because I cannot confirm it was her. The same goes for attempting to sue her in small claims court. Frankly, I'd prefer not deal with her anymore. I'm going to hope that insurance covers the damages and then move on with my life. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.